Hey everybody. I've been looking at the WNBA, and again, I've been looking and watching the WNBA since 1997 or 96 when the WNBA was created. And now it's 2025, and you're seeing that women's sports is becoming more popular. You're seeing, uh, the facilities are better. They're getting television commercials. They're getting endorsements, sneaker deals. The WNBA has really improved. I mean, it's still got a long way to go, but I think that it's making progress. I mean, even though some people you know talk about it, and there has been articles where they've not been doing too well financially, but I think over time, the WNBA will continue to improve. I think the players will get better. Heck, we might even see somebody that you know uh, we might see a few people that can come out there and dunk a basketball. Who knows? But anyway, I was sort of thinking about Caitlin Clark, and she's injured, and it's just a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of controversy with Angel Reese. What's new with her team, and I've been sort of thinking to myself, why doesn't well, let me say it this way: Cheryl Miller should be the commissioner of the WNBA. And, when you really think about it, she'd be perfect for the job. She's been a player. She's, knows basketball. She's very talented. She has a great personality. She's somebody that is, been a host on television. So, she's seen uh, basketball. She's been a part of basketball, I would say, at all different levels. And, someone like Cheryl Miller would be perfect. I think that in a time right now where more people are looking at just women play sports, getting somebody that really understands the women's basketball would be amazing right now. I think right now would be the time to get somebody like Cheryl Miller. This lady that they have in right now, I think her name is Kathy. This lady has, I don't know, squandered so many opportunities as far as marketing the game, as far as different things they could have done with Caitlin Clark, the skills competition during the All Star game, just a lot of different things. And so, in my opinion, they need to. I don't know, how this would happen, but if they could replace Kathy, I forget her last name, but if they could replace her with somebody like Cheryl Miller, that would be huge. And I think that it would actually bring in more money, more marketing dollars. The players would respect that decision. I mean, you'd have somebody that's been a winner, somebody that's actually played basketball at the highest levels, and someone that understands the game. And I think that the WNBA is in a period right now where they need more folks that are winners and champions to give back to the game and to coach and to be mentors to some of the young women, because some of these just getting random coaches that maybe have coached a year over here and done this over there, like they're at a stage where they really need folks that are winners to give back to the game, mentor some of these folks, get things going on the business side. And once that happens, then you'll see the level of play increase. You'll see the amount of money come to the WNBA will increase. All that stuff will just be on an upward trajectory. And so I don't see why a league like the WNBA doesn't actually get somebody in there that is a commissioner, that is a person that understands basketball, a person that has played basketball. I think a lot of times with sports, we're always looking at things from a standpoint of business. And there's nothing wrong about looking at, things from a standpoint of business, but once the level of play increases, when the talent level, rises, then I think more folks will, start investing money. But I mean, if you having folks who are on the court that are mediocre, people aren't going to want to invest in that. And so, the great thing about the WNBA is that the talent is getting better and better. I mean, people can say all they want, but look at someone like Caitlin Clark. Look at, some of these, new folks that are up and coming that are coming into the game. I mean, you definitely see someone like Juju Watkins out there. She's probably going to be a number one draft pick. So, I mean, the level of talent that's out there is, it's amazing. I mean, especially, I've been somebody that's been watching the women's game for decades. And so, you just need the right people in place to really, take the WNBA to the next level. And, I just, you look at the WNBA and it's like maybe they should, learn a few things from the NBA. I mean, yeah, everybody's trying to do this sort of man versus women's thing and all this other stuff, but, take a page from the NBA and find out what works. Find out, how you make your, all-star game and how, you should develop players and stuff like that, or, how players should work out and, facilities and different things like that. Like there's a lot of things that the WNBA can learn from the NBA. And it's amazing that the leaders aren't, studying what works. If you look at even with Caitlin Clark, I mean, the WNBA missed so many marketing opportunities. I mean, when Caitlin Clark was, doing her thing and she was the hype and everybody was talking about her, it's like that's when you sit up and say, you know what, we're going to advertise this player. We're going to put this player as somebody to be the face of the league. But, instead it was just like, oh, well, we'll see what happens. And so, you don't take that hype for granted. I mean, she was somebody that was talked about on social media. People were hyping her up. I mean, the WNBA could have ran with that, but instead it's just like, they just let opportunities just fall to the ground almost. And so, I really think that it's a league that has so much more room to improve, and it can improve. But, get somebody like Cheryl Miller to be the commissioner, maybe get a Candace Parker out there as, a scout new players, or get her as a coach of a WNBA team. But, get some of these folks that have, know how to win. And another thing is, get somebody like Lisa Leslie. Why isn't somebody giving her a coaching position? Lisa Leslie, was one of the pioneers in the women's in the WNBA. Like, why do they treat some of their pioneers and people that have, laid the groundwork for the WNBA? Why do they, treat them like garbage? Like, give some of those folks positions. Let some of those folks influence the next generation. There's people like Lisa Leslie and some of those retired players. They have so much knowledge to share, but the WNBA just pushes them to the side and acts like they don't exist, and it's sort of sad, but it is what it is. So in the comments section, let me know how you feel. Do you think Cheryl Miller should be the commissioner of the WNBA instead of Kathy? Let me know how you feel in the comment section. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're listening to this on YouTube, and just let me know how you feel about the WNBA. Thank you.